Hidden deep within a refrigerated chamber in a Croatian museum lie two enigmatic artifacts that have perplexed archaeologists for over a century and a half. These relics, an Egyptian mummy and an accompanying inscribed linen, have sparked intrigue due to their unique nature. Despite the significance of the Zagreb mummy in the archaeological community, its story remains largely unknown to the general public. One reason for this lack of widespread recognition is the mysterious text enveloping the Zagreb mummy, known as the Linen Book or Library Lintius, which continues to baffle linguists. This ancient script has connections to a lost civilization and a complex history that researchers are diligently unraveling. Recent investigations have begun to shed light on this intriguing tale. The saga began in the mid-19th century during the height of Egyptomania, a period when fascination with Egypt gripped the world. Around 50 years earlier, Napoleon Bonaparte's military campaign in Egypt had brought awareness of the region's ancient treasures to the global stage. Accompanying Napoleon's forces were savants, scientists and academics tasked with bringing enlightenment to foreign shores. Their discoveries ignited a lasting obsession with Egyptology, captivating Westerners for decades. In the wake of the invasion, Napoleon's troops unearthed the Rosetta Stone, an inscribed rock slab featuring 3 ancient texts. Over time, experts used this artifact to decipher the hieroglyphs adorning Egyptian pyramids and tombs. However, certain languages remained indecipherable. One such enigma lay in the mysterious script that adorned the linen wrappings of a mummy in Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. In 1848, a man named Mahadlabari, driven by a desire to explore the world, visited Alexandria in northern Egypt and was captivated by its exotic charm. Eager to bring back a souvenir from his adventure, he acquired an ancient sarcophagus instead of the conventional trinkets available at the time. Upon returning to Vienna, Bari's residence, he displayed the mummy and its linen strips, removed from the remains, in a glass case. This peculiar artifact became a peculiar conversation starter for his guests. When Bari passed away in 1858, the mummy and its linen wrappings found their way into the hands of his brother, Elijah, a priest residing in Slovenia, Croatia. Elijah, uninterested in keeping the odd inheritance, donated the contents of the sarcophagus to the Archaeological Museum in Zagreb in 1867. It was at this point that the peculiar symbols on the linen strips attracted attention. Heinrich Brugge, a German Egyptologist, examined the mummy and its inscriptions more closely. Initially, he mistook the symbols for hieroglyphs, similar to those recently deciphered with the aid of the Rosetta Stone. However, a serendipitous encounter with British explorer and linguist Richard Burton in 1877 would reveal the true nature of the symbols. During their conversation, Brugge and Burton realized that the symbols on the Zagreb mummy were not hieroglyphs, but possibly an Arabic rendition of the Egyptian funerary text known as the Book of the Dead. For a decade, the enigmatic script remained an enigma until 1891, when the linen strips were returned to Vienna for analysis by Coptic language expert Jacob Kroll. Surprisingly, Kroll identified the language as Etruscan, an ancient civilization that once thrived in modern-day Italy. Nevertheless, deciphering the text proved to be an arduous task even with this revelation. The Etruscan civilization emerged in the Mediterranean, east of the Nile, and flourished as an influential trading hub between the Greek and Celtic worlds. However, in the 4th century BC, Roman forces conquered Etruscan territory, assimilating the people into the growing empire. Despite this assimilation, the Etruscan language and religious practices persisted and evolved within Roman culture. As Latin gradually supplanted Etruscan, the once prominent language became obscure and enigmatic, leaving only a handful of surviving texts. Among them, the Liber Lintius, found on the Zagreb mummy's linen, is the longest. Today, Etruscan remains a linguistic mystery, with linguists struggling to reach a consensus on its translation. In Jacob Kroll's era, the language etched onto the linen strips of the Zagreb mummy was even more confounding than it is today. Despite numerous attempts, deciphering the text has proven nearly impossible due to the rarity of Etruscan. The profound significance of the Zagreb mummy and its linen script persists, awaiting further discoveries that may unravel its secrets and provide insights into a lost civilization's enigmatic legacy. Despite facing numerous challenges, progress was made in rearranging the snippets of text into their correct order by the researchers. It was discovered that the strips formed a 12-page document laid out from right to left. Unfortunately, the first 3 sections were heavily damaged, making it difficult to determine the beginning of the book. Partial translations of approximately 1,200 words have been proposed, revealing dates and the names of Etruscan deities. Some scholars suggest that the text may have served as a religious calendar to ensure the correct timing of rituals and ceremonies. The question arises, why was this Etruscan text wrapped around a mummy discovered in Egypt, thousands of miles away? Multiple researchers have attempted to solve this mystery since the early 20th century. Infrared photography techniques have been used to analyze the text in greater detail, leading to several theories. Initially, it was believed that the mummy wrapped in the mysterious text belonged to a native Etruscan who had resettled in Egypt. However, a papyrus scroll found inside the sarcophagus, inscribed with the Egyptian Book of the Dead, cast doubt on this theory. According to the papyrus, the deceased woman named Nisi-Hensu was from Thebes, Egypt, not the Etruscan civilization. This suggests that she may have had no connection to the Etruscan language found on her tomb. The Liber Linteus dates back to around 250 BC and was likely produced in the southeast region of Tuscany, while Thebes was situated on the banks of the Nile. The vast distance between these locations indicates that a journey between them would have been a significant undertaking. The presence of the Liber Linteus wrapped around Nisi-Hensu's remains could be accidental rather than intentional. It is possible that the linen was simply the only material available when embalmers were working on her mummification. The significance of the Etruscan script discovered on the linen is preserved through chance rather than deliberate choice. Despite the latest technology, the translation of the text remains a challenge. In 2008, historical linguist Glenn Gordon published a comprehensive dictionary of over 1,000 Etruscan words, aiding amateur translators. However, the true meaning and context of the Liber Linteus continue to elude researchers, and it will likely remain a fascinating enigma for years to come. The Zagreb mummy and its inscribed linen strips have become popular attractions at the Archaeological Museum in Zagreb, drawing tens of thousands of visitors annually. The Liber Linteus is kept in a refrigerated room, well preserved alongside other significant artifacts. Despite surviving a powerful earthquake in 2020 that caused damage to the museum, the Liber Linteus remained intact, safeguarding its secrets until they can be unraveled. Subscribe to the channel for more updates.